All right, here we are, finally in the playoffs. I feel like it's been a long football season. It's been a long time since we've been on, just a lot going on with the holidays and everything. But nonetheless, we're still up 18 units going into the playoffs. So there's a little bit of fun money to play around with. Even though, Rob, it is a very tough weekend, like we talked about before. What do you think?
I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot going on. I mean, we have the golf season now in full swing. We've been hanging out in Hawaii the last couple of weeks, so we're trying to get geared up for that while focus on this playoff run. And if anybody's still along from last year, then that playoff season can be tough. And playoff betting on playoff football is hard to be positive the way we are on the regular season. I mean, that's a really solid number. I think give or take 18 units, but playoff football is like really it's tight. And I'm looking at the market, Mike, and it's like you're not going to be able to get much from there. And I don't know, the way I've been like going about it this week is I'm not afraid to lean on the better team.
You
Depending on the
shouldn't be.
matchup this week. Especially in those tighter markets. Like if I really want to make a play, that's where I'm looking towards. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, it's tight across the board because for different reasons and different games. You got a lot of you got six new starting quarterbacks. Going into this weekend, and from guys like Geno Smith, who's been around, all the way down to Brock Purdy, who's a third string backup, for one of the NFC favorites in the Niners. So, Thompson, starting for the Dolphins. Yeah, you see, it's a little bit of a mixed bag across the board, but I would say it's an okay slate. I know everybody's always waiting for next week, right? That divisional weekend's usually the big time, when you're expecting those big matches. But I think it's still pretty solid wild card slate. I think a couple interesting games. So yeah, I'm excited to get through it.
I agree with that. There's a couple really interesting games. One I'm really excited about is Chargers Jacksonville. I don't want to jump ahead, but that's one I'm definitely looking forward to as far as see what Jacksonville has that their first time in with this new regime, and same with the Chargers. So like this is a really big game for both programs moving forward. Kind of find out who wants it more, and I think who's going to be going to the next level next year. I believe that to be Jacksonville. I don't know if they win this game outright. I don't know what side I want to bet on that, but I do think that the Jags are definitely poised to take a step forward, especially considering the division they're in and whatnot. But sorry for jumping ahead. Let's talk about this
Oh
Niners
no,
game.
it's good. That's all good. Yeah.
I just can't see Shanahan calling a game that allows Brock Purdy to have to make tough decisions. I think you just control the clock, rely on the defense, rely on CMC, Kittle, Debo, quick passes, run the ball, control the tempo. With that said, the only angle I really like would be the under in that one.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's interesting. Every single one of these matchups we have this week is a rematch, right? And a couple divisional, including this one where you have San Fran 2-0 in the matchup this year, and handling Seattle pretty, for the most part, pretty handedly both weeks. So I just think Seattle or San Fran is all around a better team. I expect them to handle business even with the young quarterback with Purdy. Like you said, they're gonna Shanahan develops a game plan, right, to protect Purdy in his first playoff start, which I agree with. And so it's going to be on Seattle and their defense, right, to put him in a position to make mistakes. And I don't know if Seattle has enough on defense to do that, to get it done. And then you mentioned San Fran's defense, which I think is, one of the best in the league, if not the best, particularly at generating a pass rush from the quarterback. I agree with you. I think the best lean on this one is the under. I think it's a relatively strong market play on the sharp play on the under as well. What's at 42 right now in most spots, because even if I think Seattle's been getting some sharp love throughout the week too. I mean, that line bounced around a little bit. It came back up to 9.5 after being around maybe I think as low as 8.5 at some spots this week. So if you expect Seattle to make a close game, or if you expect them to be in the game, I think it would lean towards the under, just they would have to contain that San Fran offense in some way. And again, I'm expecting the San Fran defense to show up big against Seattle too this week.
Yeah, I don't really worry about San Fran's defense. The thing I'm really interested to see is Geno Smith's performance this weekend, and then how Seattle handles that moving forward in the offseason, whether or not they re-sign him. I feel like you have to personally. But, I mean, they have a lot of draft capital. A lot of decisions are going to be made over there in the coming months. I'm not fully ruling them out. It's not out of the realm of possibility to me, but I want no parts of getting points. I don't want to give the points for San Fran. I don't want any skin in the game as far as the spread in this one. I don't really have a good feel. It's a lot of points for a division game. A lot of points for
with a third string quarterback, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. It's like whether you're either going to lay 9.5 with a third string, rookie quarterback in his first playoff start.
Yeah.
Even if it's at home, or you're taking 9.5, with Seattle and Geno Smith, still against the San Fran team that we saw, whether it was against Garoppolo, right, or Purdy, right? They still miss. It's still a bit of a mismatch here. So I like I said, I probably don't want any part of the side either. If anything, look to make a play on the total.
Real quick, but then before we move on, this is just something that needs to get off my chest. So many things about Jalen Hurts being a system quarterback. Every quarterback that's got plugged into Kyle Shanahan's offense with that 49ers roster has been successful, but Brock Purdy's been giving the keys to the kingdom already, and
a lot of Brock Purdy love. I'm not sure what it is with the 49er narrative or the Purdy narrative, but it's a lot of love for a guy coming in making his first start, which I think
with one of the best rosters in football. Dude,
I think and that's what it is. I mean, shit. I remember Purdy coming out of Iowa State. I mean, we were, I was taking points with Purdy anytime I can get the chance. When he was with the Cyclones. But now, him making this jump to the NFL this soon is a leap, right? Because he wasn't even that highly touted, within the draft ranks, this past year. So. But to your point, the system point, that speaks to this offense and Shanahan's, right? And really what the offense is designed to do, and it is centered around the run game. And then when you have the ability of having two huge mismatches, possibly two of the biggest mismatches at their positions, Travis Kelce notwithstanding, George Kittle, and then McCaffrey, and then the run game and that offensive line, and then the ability, Deebo Samuel, you add that into the next, like you said, Mike, it's just putting Purdy in a position, to not make mistakes, right, and take advantage of what is around him, right. And I don't know if I don't think Seattle just doesn't have enough to divert that.
No, Seattle's defense is abysmal, so that's why I don't like the points, because could get rookie mistakes at quarterback.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense sucks, so he could light them up.
Yeah.
Who knows how that one goes? Let's move on, because Saturday night's game to me is maybe the now second most exciting football game of the weekend, quite possibly. I'm really interested to see how Trevor Lawrence plays in this one. He's been playing really good football towards the end of the season. Did not have a good game against Tennessee. Jags defense won them that football game, but it's a team effort. You got the win, and now you're in the tournament, in the words of Doug Peterson. So I trust Doug way more than that goofball in LA. That goes without saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was the first thing I was gonna bring up, right? Shout out Dougie P, because I think I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence fan, never was coming out of Clemson, but obviously we're we rep for Dougie P, and just that you could definitely see the strides in the second half of the season with not only Lawrence but the team itself, right? And it shows you what a difference coaching makes, right? And what NFL coaching is versus what it's not, right? And just the difference between anybody that thought Dougie P, anybody that thought he wasn't a head coach going into that Eagles job, right? Obviously, that was more or less taken out the window with the Super Bowl. But again, now with this Jaguars team, after a guy as high profile as Urban Meyer coming in, doing everything going on there, and then you have Dougie P come in, provide that stability and now growth for a guy like Trevor Lawrence. I do think it's great. I think they're on the up and up. I don't know. There's something about this week that I don't know. I'm hesitating on the Jags this week of all weeks, right in the playoffs. Did something about Herbert and that and this Chargers team. I know things got a little wonky last week with the way they played their starters, and I know they got a couple guys down now. But it seems like the Chargers
Mike
always have a
Williams
couple
is out.
guys down every week, right? Mike Williams with a back injury, right? I think the right tackle is also who went down last week. So you would think that would come back to bite them this week. No, I mean, those decisions, like playing those starters, but I don't know. Overall, I just think at the end of the day, it's the matchup in the passing game, right? And I'm taking Herbert against the Jags passing D, and a Chargers passing D played pretty solid against young Trevor Lawrence. Albeit both quarterbacks made their first start.
It's on me that I don't know this guy's name, but he's going to be irrelevant, I feel like, come Sunday, and he's going to get fired. That Chargers head coach has shown so many signs of incompetence that I don't even know how this guy was still around at the end of last year. I just think that the way he makes the calls on fourth down tomorrow is going to bite them in the ass if they don't convert. If they don't convert, because he's going to go for it in bad spots. I just think he rolls the dice too much. I don't like his play calling at all, and the risks that he takes, I find them to be in just really bad spots.
It's like so Brandon Staley is who you're mentioning, and I giving you the benefit of the doubt because I did a double check. It is Brandon Staley because I get him and McDaniels from Miami mixed up because I feel like both of them look similar and both of them do kind of wonky things at times. And both of their jobs are probably on the line and they're going underperforming. But Brandon Staley, and you want to talk about risk taking, right? You got two coaches and Dougie P and Staley that aren't afraid to take some risks. So there's going to be some interesting gadgets, on Saturday night. It could get electric Saturday night with these two out there calling plays.
No, I think it's going to be a really good one. Doug's already got the ring. Doug's gotten guys there in Philadelphia when they shouldn't again. And then, the Jags there his first season. You got to tip your cap to the man. Honestly, I'm going to sit up in my chair for him. I'm not even doing him any justice by slouching. I'm going to sit up in my chair for Doug Peterson. That dude is, I think when it's all said and done, going to be one of the most well-respected football coaches that's ever coached the game. The way he got done in Philadelphia and now what he's doing in Jacksonville after that debacle of the season last year. I don't know if it's a homer bet or just my gut really says that the Jags are going to win this football game. And I really think it's going to come down to coaching because quarterback play, I don't know what side. Everybody loves Justin Herbert. I think he's a hell of a football player. But I'm not ready to give the full-blown edge to the Chargers in that category. And defensively, I'm taking Jacksonville's defense right now.
Yeah, if you like Jacksonville going into this one at home, I can't take anything less than the 3, right? So I think 2.5 is all that's out there, right? So instead, I like maybe using the Jaguars as a teaser piece and getting that to 8.5. I like that a lot. I think they're a great teaser piece, right? So I would say that would be maybe my favorite angle in this one.
Yep.
I was going to say on the total at 45.5, it looks like an under, maybe a little bit of a contrarian play, but I don't know if that's worth it. Again, we're not trying to get cute on Wild Card Weekend. Teasers are pretty cute, but there's a couple 2.5s and 3s out there that, and some 8.5s that make some teasers pretty interesting this week. And I like the Jaguars as one of them.
I love them in a teaser spot. They're going to be in a couple combinations that I cook up come tomorrow. They're already in one that I've conjured up in the cauldron. 8.5, I don't see them losing by more than a touchdown. I'm not ready to back them with the 2.5. I'm not taking the Jags under a field goal in their first playoff appearance with this whole regime. There's just no way. The Chargers are so overdue to make a run.
This game smells like a missed PAT kind of game somewhere in that 2.5. That two comes right into play, right? Like these two teams, like this is, if there's any game where the two, comes into play, it's this one, right? And I could see that for sure. Early on too, where you're like, shit, like now it's on, right? Forget the three, like, yeah.
Whatever team doesn't cross their T's and dot their I's early isn't going to cover.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to shake out.
I mean, yeah. So like I said, I like the Jags maybe in a teaser spot, but yeah, it's a tight. Like everything else, it's pretty tight.
All right, let's talk about Buffalo, Miami. Not for long. I don't really care.
That's the unfortunate thing, though, right? Because like you say that going in this game, but now you bring it up like that. Like if you would have thought about this game earlier, first half of the season, right? This had the potential to be a great wild card game, but just
it was a great one when they played each other healthy.
Right. Yeah. And even just a couple of weeks ago, right? Like last month or so, like it was a tight game and Miami covered the spread in that game. I think we had Miami in that game too. So like it was, it was tight there in Buffalo, already, but with Skylar Thompson coming in, I mean, and a 13.5-point spread, it's just how much, if any piece of this game do you really want?
None. And I mean, honestly, I would lean the Bills. Skylar Thompson can't move the football. It's no knock to him. It's third string quarterback playing football, like the Brock Purdy blah, blah. Like, dude, what do you expect from this kid? Get the ball out quick to Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Hope to God that they can make a play. But like the Dolphins don't have a run game to complement a third string quarterback like the Niners do. That's a fact. And their O-line isn't built like the Niners is either. So when you can't lean on your defense, lean on your run game, have the great infrastructure in the trenches, the third string quarterback isn't going to get it done for you. That's really all I need to say about that. I would lean Buffalo 13.5 personally. I probably won't take it. I definitely won't make that official, but I lean Buffalo in this one, third string quarterback versus Josh Allen. It's a huge number, but are you going to take Thompson getting less than 2 touchdowns? No, you're not. Don't even try and play.
No, I won't. I won't officially. But I know you're a pick'em guy, and I know we're pick'em guys, and I will say that the double-digit dogs in the wild card there's a heavy trend on those double-digit dogs. A lot of those double-digit dogs are going to have Skylar. I will not. I'm just going to say that a lot of those double-digit dogs though will have Skylar Thompsons. I'm sure, right? Like Tim Tebow's maybe, but like, no. I mean, like that's enough on that one.
Yeah. All right. This is either the best or the second best matchup of the weekend, in my opinion. And we'll get to one that's probably the best, but I have some takes on it. We're in Minnesota. They're hosting the Giants. Everybody loves the Giants now. I did about a week ago, and I still don't know how this one's going to shake out, but the grit and the story behind the Giants is great. They've taken leaps forward this year. Competent football team. They play tough football. This is a can't lose football game in Minnesota. If the Vikings lose this football game, dude, you gotta get rid of everybody besides Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, and you need to shake things up.
Well,
and they just did that.
I mean, you don't even need to go that far, right? I will give you this much: like, there's absolutely more pressure on Minnesota to win this game than New York, right? Like, I mean, the expectation is on Minnesota. The Giants are getting all the love on the market, on the money, on the spread at the 3, and it's just hanging at that 3, right? To me, I think the number's spot on.
Yeah.
I think the number's spot on. I think it's Vikings by a field goal again. I don't know if it plays out exactly like the way it did a couple of weeks ago, but I think this line is a field goal in favor of the Vikings. So I guess I would, I would lean a little bit towards the Vikings there, and that, with that being said, but on the other end, like we've been talking about teaser pieces, I could see the Giants being used as well with the 3. You can bump that up to a 9. It's not the most appealing number than some of the others, like the 8.5 with Jacksonville, but you can make a case for it. I could see it. Otherwise, I like the under 48 early in the week. over got a little bit more stronger money throughout the week. That's kind of making that a little bit more of a lean now for me. But I get just for whatever reason, I could see this game being a lot tighter than 48. I found that spread to be a little interesting with it being that high. I know Minnesota has the potential to put up some big points with their playmakers, but the way the Giants stay in this game, if that is going to be the case, is by keeping it close, I think.
So one of the fans of the show just asked about no wine. I'm cleaning up my act. Yeah, we have a couple. It's just a bunch of schlubs. Cleaning up my act. I'm back in the gym. I'm turning back into a monster.
Wow.
Rob, to me, dude, it has to be the Vikings, and the love that the Giants are getting makes me lean Vikings, but there's so much pressure on Kirk Cousins, and that dude folds every time a game matters.
Yeah, he's just outside of his spot too. Yeah, he's about 3 hours past his bedtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cincinnati, Baltimore. Yeah. It's such a shame. Can I speak one piece, and it has nothing to do with the game? I just got to get this off my chest. Baltimore, what are you doing paying Roquan Smith $100 million before contract negotiations with a quarterback that now you're going to have to pay $300 million? What are you doing?
Roquan Smith, but the addition that he has made to that defense. So listen, granted, I get franchise quarterback, right? But I mean, he's the cornerstone of that defense.
Hold on.
Right? You're going to let him walk?
You didn't let me finish. No, I'm not going to let him walk. But you didn't let me finish.
Did I jump?
Oh, you're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun. Because if Lamar was ready to go, and I see that payday that Roquan Smith got, my knee's acting up again. I'm not hurting it. No, I'm not suiting up until you give me my money. You messed around with me last offseason. Give me my money. And you're dumb enough you could have paid Roquan after the game. After you negotiated.
Maybe Roquan was happy with the number. He could have been happy with the number.
Isn't Lamar
is Lamar representing? He's representing himself, I believe, right?
Gangster.
Where? So as in, yeah, okay, all right. That answers my question, because I was going to say another tangent. I wanted to get your thoughts on the number of athletes that have, particularly higher profile, right? They start to just kind of represent themselves. I'm wondering what actual practical shape that takes. I think Richard Sherman was like one of the big ones, but that's what Lamar's doing.
Yeah, he's Stanford educated.
Hey, I mean, that's 10% at least. That's a lot.
Hey, you're giving 10% of your contract to some guy that all he does is show up in a boardroom for an hour.
These guys aren't dumb. Like they know, they have a pretty, they have an idea.
I think the Ravens played themselves, and I think the Ravens played Lamar out of this game, and I'm so mad at them because that was going to be the game of the weekend. That was going to be
epic. What's crazy is his age. I can't believe how young he's like. He's younger than Stetson Bennett, who just won back-to-back national titles. Listen, I get it, like different, but I'm just saying, like relative to just where he is with other quarterbacks, he's still 24, 25 years old. Lamar Jackson.
He's a spring chicken. Look at how he runs.
And he doesn't look at how he runs and the way he plays, right? He's banged up right now, but. In terms of major injuries, right? Like, I think he's been banged up, but I don't think there's anything like major right at this point. So he's gonna collect. It's just a matter of if and when, right? Like, if it's not going to be Baltimore, then somebody else is gonna jump in and pay him.
What are they gonna end up trading him to? Who? And how about the Bears?
I don't think you can. You can at this point.
You franchise tag him and trade him. All right, I'm done talking about it. I mean, honest to God, how can you not take the Bengals? Because we don't even know who the hell the Ravens are throwing out there.
It's tighter. I don't know why it's as.
I don't care what those guys are talking about on the money.
I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I'm staying away just because, like, when I'm staring at a Baltimore and a TBD next to it in terms of his starting quarterback. So it's like I have no interest. I have no interest in backing Baltimore in this game. I like the under in this game. I like the under at 40.5. I'd actually make that a play, but
I love the under because Baltimore's not going to score a point, and it's Joe Burrow. Dude, and he's always going to have the football. The Ravens aren't going to be able
Shout
to
out Sean. Shout out Sean for whoever's holding a Cincinnati future ticket. 16-1. That 16-1 looks great right now. And if there's any,
does.
If the Eagles aren't going to win, it's great to have that ticket right now. So
does.
So Joey Cool this winter.
Let's get to Monday night. Everyone is counting out the boys. No one wants to see them lose more than me. But I'm betting the Cowboys. Don't care. Don't care. Give me them -2.5. I might even take them alternate spread. The only reason I'm taking them, that Tampa Bay O-line is so bad. What?
No, alternate spread. No, I love it. No, keep going. I don't want to impose it any further.
I'm worried about the defense getting healthy for the Buccaneers. I get you. Dak worries me. I just really think the Cowboys D-line versus that Buccaneers O-line is going to cause fits. Absolute fits. That's my biggest concern. And the fact that every single person in America is betting on the Buccaneers. I have to take the boys. Have to do it.
I'll say this first.
Okay.
I think Dallas might be one of the better contrarian plays of the week. I hate saying it. Yeah. I've thought it all week. I hate saying it. But I just have this bad feeling that Dallas is going to win this game. And now that this line came down to under 2.5, oh man, I don't know. I'm in on Dallas under 2.5. It just, again, you mentioned the Tampa Bay defense, so Vita Vea being healthy, having him up front is going to be huge. I think that the secondary is healthy, so they're going to have some guys back there. That Brady again getting points at home as a dog in the playoffs, but I don't know. Again, this one's a gut play for me, Mike. I just have a bad feeling Dallas is going to win this game.
Me too. And honest to God, the last thing I want is for that Tampa Bay Buccaneers to catch lightning in a bottle against the Cowboys and come to Philadelphia. But once again, it really comes down to really bad O-line play all season, going up against a couple of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Eagles, in my opinion, have the best. So you're going to go up against the Cowboys and then you're going to go up against the Eagles. You just need to get to Tom Brady early and often. And the Eagles have been able to do that every football game. So not a concern for me. Also, I did buy divisional tickets right after the Eagles won. So if it is the Cowboys, I might just throw them right on StubHub. Take a couple $1,000. So,
yeah. I'll tell you what. Speaking of fans, the phones have been absolutely off the hook ever since we got on this Monday night game.
Okay, get them on.
So
our first caller.
I have a caller live now. I have this is the first live call of the CYP show. Let's see here. All right, we have Christian. This is Christian in Warminster. Here he is.
Christian in Warminster. Okay. Christian, how are we?
Oh, it's Tony Spagoli.
How you doing, pal? What are your questions?
I'm doing good. There's been a butterfly added in my stomach every single day.
Butterfly
For what?
I'm nervous about this game. It makes me nervous.
Christian, you're in Warminster, pal. There's nothing to worry about. The Eagles aren't playing this week. They're on a bye. They're number one seeds. You don't have anything to worry about, pal.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna get right in the numbers.
Numbers? Oh, we're talking Dallas, Tampa Bay. That's right.
Yeah. So, I heard you guys both think Dallas handles Tampa Bay. I beg to differ. Okay. I believe I've done my homework. Dak Prescott, we're not counting the quarterback from Miami.
Skylar
Dak
Thompson
Prescott has the lowest QB passer rating out of all quarterbacks in the playoffs right now. After that Jacksonville and Washington game, what makes you two want Dallas to win?
I don't. That's the thing, Christian. I don't want Dallas. I don't want Dallas to win. Who wants Dallas to win? There's just something about this game though that I think Dallas is due for. I think they're due for a playoff winner. I think they're going to get it against Brady. What's Brady? 6-0 or 6-0 against Dallas career?
7-0 against
Dallas. 7-0.
And I think if this is Tom Brady's last game, there's no way it's a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Michael said this last year when it was up against the Rams. He said, if it's Tom Brady's last game, there's no way he loses it. And look, he lost it, but it wasn't his last game. I don't think he loses this game and gives Mike McCarthy his first ever playoff crown.
Is Mike McCarthy on the hot seat? Does he get fired if he loses this game? Like,
That goes without
I
question.
don't know, because I don't think there's a shot they could land Sean Payton. And I don't think they want guys like Nathaniel Hackett, whose job is gone, or
Christian,
All
they're
right,
better off hiring you.
I need a final score prediction on this Monday night game.
Okay.
I'm looking at a total of 45.5 points. You know, it's
I'm
down to
going
2.5. You're going low. You're going under.
I'm going 19-12 Tampa Bay.
Interesting.
12.
I think a person
19-12.
I think.
Well, he's got a point. The Tampa Bay offense has looked pretty anemic at times this
He's
year.
been
It's pretty-
clicking.
I agree.
Or
Unless
quarterback.
Evans gets behind anybody, it's pretty.
It's very possible. Mike
pathetic.
Evans can definitely make Trayvon Diggs
The
play.
thing about the Bucs receiving core is why I like it so much and it's so good, because who are you going to put on Mike Evans? Trayvon Diggs, correct? And then you got Chris Godwin, who's just going to get open on you. And then you got Julio Jones. He's a veteran, but he can still do his job.
No, we can't.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not counting on it. We'll see what happens, though. I don't know. Well, we
Christian,
thank our
I-
fans as always. Thanks, C-Man.
I respect your
out of
football
order,
opinion.
but
We
The
appreciate the
Tampa
phone
Bay
call.
love. I don't understand it a lot. I mean, I get the public love, Tampa Bay, the Tom Brady love, all that stuff. But I don't know, Mike. Like I said, I just
Dude,
got this bad fucking feeling.
all you
Dallas.
need to
I think it's
know-
going to be Dallas Philly. I think it's going to be Dallas Philly. That's why. Because
It has to be.
Dallas wins the game. That's why I think.
Here's my thing. That team has looked so bad all season. That offense in particular has looked horrible all season. Why do we think? And it hasn't been because of lack of talent. It's O-line play. Brady's never been hit this much in his career. That's
Yeah.
all it comes down to. That's all that ever matters.
And you
Protect
have
the
one of the
quarterback.
biggest game breakers on the other side of that ball.
Exactly.
We
It's
haven't even mentioned his name, right? But Parsons is going to be on the other side of that ball Monday night. And, he's going to be looking to get after Tom.
also, side note, real quick before we get off, no reason Hassan Reddick shouldn't be first team All Pro. No reason. Or second team.
It's tough.
No
It's
reason.
tough.
No, it isn't. It isn't tough. It's his
No, I mean
statistically-
no, I agree. That's tough. I mean, that's he had a career year. I mean, but you know what though? Okay, yes, I agree. But I think the Players Association came out with an All Pro this year. They recognized Darius Slay. The players did, who wasn't recognized for the Pro Bowl, right? So that's good on Slay for getting a shout out there. Kelsey and Johnson, of course, were the other two in there because they are the best two at their position in their sport,
No
in my
doubt.
opinion, at least. So shout out to them. So I mean, the guys, they're and then depending on what they do here, they'll get the recognition they need, man. So yeah.
Something I'm willing to put the house on. Hassan Reddick is going to record 4 sacks these playoffs.
Oh, I would take over. I'd go over. That's your
4.
line you're setting? Over
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Give me
over
5
4.
then. Over 4. Okay. Love it. Love it.
The line's moved already. You took
Line's
my
already
action to
moved.
move the line.
Take
I
your
can't
pick.
even give that play
Sharp
up.
betters. Can't even
Yeah,
get it
look at
up.
that.
All
I'll tell
right,
you what,
everyone.
also, think about.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Before think about the impact those new guys have had that Howie's brought in this year. AJ Brown,
unbelievable.
a career year,
Bradbury.
set a record for receiving yards for the Eagles in a single season. 11 touchdowns. You had Bradbury again, unbelievable year, All Pro year, and then we
CJ.
like you said, you mentioned Reddick as well, career year. Guys that you signed, 2 guys you signed, bringing in 3 guys right there having just All Pro level years. So
Gardner
Yeah.
Johnson too. I mean, come on. I mean, the
and they're
list
not
goes
even
on.
playing this week.
And they're not even playing this week.
So,
God bless Howie Roseman. God bless him. God bless his family. God bless the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, and can't forget Nick Sirianni. God bless that man. Go Birds. Everybody, good luck this wild card weekend. We'll be back next week. Oh, man.